Well, again, caught a little bit of Fox News this morning, and the onslaught against the Donald continues. We had Brett Baer and a couple of other talking heads making mention of the comments that the Donald made. Keep in mind, that was after the senator from Arizona attacked not only the Donald, but the citizens of Arizona, those that participated and attended the event. I was one of those. Now, what's interesting is there's an awful lot of information available on the Senator McCain. I myself have posted over 100 videos. One of my viewers just sent me an article, and you really want to take a look at this. The UNZ review on alternative media selection. And the title is McCain and the POW Cover-Up. Now, what people need to understand is what Donald said, people took in the wrong context. He did not mean that anyone that's captured is not a war hero. He was referring specifically to lame brain Johnny McCain. I'm certain that the Donalds also heard about McCain's escapades during his time in captivity. There's a reason McCain's called the Songbird of the Hanoi Hilton. The article is most revealing. Not only do you find out additional information that you might not have been aware of about Senator John McCain, but you also find out information about the Secretary of State, the Ketchup King, John Kerry. I'm going to give you a couple of the highlights of this article. It starts off, John McCain, who has risen to political prominence on his image as a Vietnam War hero, has inexplicably worked very hard to hide from public stunning information about American prisoners in Vietnam, who, unlike him, didn't return home. Now, what's interesting is that McCain has again risen to prominence by pretending to have been a war hero. And what you're going to find as you go through this document, it's very specific and it's most revealing. McCain has worked very hard to keep a lot of information, actually all information, gathered on POWs secret. Why would that be? Why do you think that would be? Now, they say that McCain broke bones. Yes, he did break bones. He broke bones because he didn't eject properly out of his A-Force Skyhawk. And the wind blast from ejecting at 400 or 500 miles an hour resulted in both arms being pulled back and his shoulders being broken. Now, and if you've watched my videos, I've said this in numerous other videos. What ended up happening was when McCain landed in a pond in Hanoi, in the center of Hanoi, he was bayoneted, and then he was dragged and thrown into a cold, dark cell. He remained there for 4 days in total agony. If that's considered torture, which I would imagine it very well might be, that's the extent of the torture that McCain received. It goes on to say it's not clear whether the taped confession McCain gave to his captors to avoid further torture has played a role in his post-war behavior in the Senate. That confession was played endlessly over the prison loudspeaker system in Hanoi to try to break down other prisoners. Can you imagine how those other prisoners felt hearing McCain's confession, denouncing America, letting the world know that he was ordered to bomb schools, he was ordered to bomb hospitals, he was ordered to bomb churches? The whole thing is sickening. Now, again, it was to try to break down other prisoners and was broadcast over Hanoi state radio. Repeatedly, he confessed to being a war criminal who had bombed civilian targets. The Pentagon has a copy of the confession, but will not release it. Also, no outsider I know of has ever seen a non-redacted copy of the debriefing of McCain when he returned from captivity, which is classified but could be made public by McCain. It goes on to say, all humans have a breaking point. Many men undergoing torture give confessions, often telling huge lies in a fakery with the understanding by their commanders and their country. Few will fault them. But it was McCain who apparently felt he had disgraced himself and his military family. His father, John S. McCain II, was a highly regarded Rear Admiral, then serving as commander of the U.S. forces in the Pacific. His grandfather was also an admiral. In his best-selling 1999 autobiography, Faith of My Fathers, McCain says he felt he had, throughout his captivity, he felt bad throughout his captivity because he knew he was being treated more leniently than his fellow POWs. You ever wonder why that was? Well, in his memoirs, McCain expresses guilt at having broken down under torture and given the confession. I felt faithless. I couldn't control my despair, he writes, revealing that he made 2 feeble attempts at suicide. Well, he probably did make 2 feeble attempts. Keep in mind they were both feeble. Too bad he wasn't successful. But I gotta believe those attempts were based on the guilt that he felt for having betrayed his country and having betrayed his fellow POWs that he was so proud of. I don't know, folks. I'm hoping that Donald Trump does what he needs to do to prove that McCain was not a war hero, to prove that McCain was a traitor, to prove that McCain was responsible for the deaths of not only those 134 sailors on the Forrestal aircraft carrier when he was hot dogging and did a hot start, which ignited a Zuni rocket on the wing of his friend's jet that was parked behind him, and the 200 plus men that were seriously injured. The Forrestal almost sank because of McCain. People died trying to attack Hanoi because of McCain. He is a traitor. He was called the Songbird for a reason. I'm hoping that Donald has enough reason to prove to the world that McCain was in fact a traitor, and he's ripped out of the Senate in disgrace and sent to Leavenworth for his crimes against American POWs. Do I sound like I'm pissed? I'm pissed at Fox News for constantly continuing to attack Donald. I don't understand why Donald keeps coming back. He should tell them to stuff it. That's what he should tell Fox News. You know, as each day goes by, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just hoping that the Donald exposes the Songbird to the entire world. Please read the article. You're going to learn a little bit more about the Ketchup King, Secretary of State John Kerry. The whole thing is sickening. Absolutely sickening. That's what I think. If you read the article in its entirety, you'll feel much the same way.